Welcome back to Web Technology Laboratory. Today we will study a PHP program to implement a simple calculator which can be used to make arithmetic operations like addition, subtraction, division and multiplication. Let us see the problem statement as per the syllabus. This PHP program includes 4 different functions which we have to implement. So first one is regarding simple calculator and remaining 3 are matrix operations. Since first and remaining 3 do not have any relation, we will implement in this video. We will see how to implement a simple calculator, and remaining 3 parts of this problem statement, that is matrix operations, we will look into it in next video. So let us see the plan of HTML design as well as the PHP code. So we will make a form. We will use HTML form tag and design a form using text inputs as well as radio buttons. So here text inputs are used to user enter the operand values, and radio button which allows user to select any one arithmetic operation out of 4 basic arithmetic operation: multiplication, division, addition and subtraction. Then once the form is submitted, that user enters 2 operands using text input and selects the radio button and submits the form. We will we use method post method and give the data entered by the user to the PHP code. In PHP we receive operands and operator entered by the user and make that particular operation selected by the user and display result of the arithmetic operation in the PHP code itself using echo statement. So this is the form design which is expected. You can see here is a text input and one more text input. So to enter 2 operands by the user, and then there is a radio button you can see here, that is to choose any one operation out of 4 basic arithmetical operation. Once user enters 2 operands in these 2 text fields and selects any one arithmetical operator, and he has to press the submit button. This is the output expected, where PHP performs the operation selected by the user on operand values given by the user and performs the operation and display that result as a arithmetic equation. So this is done through PHP and this is the expected output. So now let us see how to implement the code for simple calculator. So initially I'll use notepad editor. Okay. So initially we will design HTML front end form and then we will write PHP code. So we'll make 2 separate files. One is the HTML file for the front end form and one is the PHP file to handle calculator operation. We'll start with the HTML tag. So this is the basic structure of HTML here. Now let us see how to create a form with the 2 text input and a radio button. So form is created using form tag, and there are some parameters, that form attributes that you have to use for the form. So within this form, when you submit, we will give text input and radio buttons within this form. But what happens when user submit the form? So that time we have to take some action. So action is nothing but post or get, anything it works. The post is better. You will learn in theory class why you have to use post method. Now this method is post. So this is I am informing the HTML browser how to send, in what method we have to send data from the HTML form to a PHP file, and we should also mention to where we have to post it, means to which PHP file we have to send the form data. So I will call it as calculate.php, which I have not written yet. Okay. So what happens is, whatever the data user enters within this form and submit the button, user submit button, all the data will be posted right, using post method send to the calculate.php where I receive these values and make arithmetic operations. So what should be there inside a form? Okay, so initially we need a text input to take first operand of the arithmetic operation. So I'll use a label here, and within label and first operand. Okay, then we will use input here, that is form input, right. So now I have to mention which type of input I require. I require a text input, so I will type is text. I will give a name for the input, text input, because which I require in PHP to access the value. So I will give it as operand 1, OP1, right. So this is a one thing. I will copy and paste this code to create one more text input for the second operand, right, fine. So I will call it as second operand, and name I will change to operand 2. So here in between I will use radio buttons. So okay, I will use a label like choose operator. And how to create a radio button? That input type is radio button. So input type equal to radio. Then I'll give a name so that I can access which, right, but radio button user has selected. I will take it as operator. Okay, name operator, and I will close this. Okay, then the radio button should have a name, so which can be displayed to the user in the web page. So I will call it as add. Okay, so now I'll copy the 4 radio buttons, and one more I'll call it as subtract, then multiply and divide. Okay, so there are 4 radio buttons. Okay, so now whenever a user selects a particular radio button, I have to send a particular value to a form, so that in PHP I can identify which radio button is selected. So here value I will give it as plus. I'm just using a sign. Okay, so for subtract I will use minus sign, and for multiply I will use star, as well as for division I use forward slash. So now what happens is, if I select user select subtract, then in PHP we get value as a minus, negative sign. Okay, okay, this is the radio button. You can see here all the radio button names here, right, are same. That is because we should not allow user to select multiple radio buttons, only one radio button. That's why all the radio button name is given as same name. You can see here, this is my form is ready. So now we will give submit button here. Okay, type equal to submit, then a name for it. Okay, name also we will give it as submit, and value also submit, and also we will use a reset type button. So we can see the output here. Yeah. So I'll use again break statements, tags here. Yeah, this is the form. So when user enters 2 operand value and select any one radio buttons, and he gives submit. When submit is pressed by the user, these 2 operands and one operator selected by the user will be passed to the calculate.php program. Okay, with those values using post method. So this is a HTML form we designed. Okay, and this is a HTML code, a basic code. Now let us see how to write this calculate.php. So all the form data here, that is 2 operands and one operator, upon submitting the form, the values will be sent to the calculate.php over post method. So how to write the calculate.php? So here is the calculate.php written using PHP code. So we have used post method, that's why we use dollar, you can see here, $_post. because in form HTML or browser sends data to the PHP code using post method. So here we are reading it using post method in the PHP $_post, and what is the parameter for that post method is name given for every field of the form in the HTML form. So you can see here that's HTML code for the first text input. For the first operand I have given name as operand 1, for the operator chosen I have given name as operator, and for the second input I have given name as operand 2. So how to access those values now here is by giving those names to the $post. So $_post operand 1 access the value of first text input given by the user, and I am storing it in $operand 1, that is operand 1 variable. So similarly I am accessing operand 1, operand 2 and the operator submitted by the user in the HTML form and storing it in a PHP variable here operand 1, operand 2 and operator. So now based on the operator I should make a operation on first two operands. So now how we will use the switch case here and pass the operator. So there is the operator, there are 4 possible values. If we selected add, then operator will be plus. If we select subdivision, the operator will be division sign. So you can see in my HTML code here, in the radio button I have used this technique here, the value. So any operation, arithmetic operation user selects, its respective sign is the value. So I am accessing operator here, then writing case values for plus, minus, multiplication and division. So if it is a plus, user has selected addition, then operator will be plus. So we will perform operand 1 plus operand 2 and store it in $result. Similarly, if it is a user has selected subtraction, radio button, then operation is minus, or right. So we will make operand 1 minus operand 2 and store it in result. So similarly multiplication as well as division, but before dividing we will see whether second operand is 0. If second operand is 0, we will make result as 0 because we cannot divide anything by 0. So this is how we will use switch case. Based on the operator we will make respective operation on first two operands, operand 1 and operand 2. So once result is obtained based on the operator selected, now it is a time to display the result. So I told you we will use echo statement. Echo statement is used in PHP to display the string or output on the web page. So now here in the echo statement I have written a HTML statement because I want output on a HTML page as a HTML code. So I have used center tag, h1 tag, and I am using simple calculator. So it will be displayed simple calculator, 2 words will be displayed on the web page as a header h1 tag content in the web page. And again I am displaying the result here. You can see I have used string concatenation technique using dot operator here. Okay, dot is used, that is used in PHP for concatenation of the strings. So in h2 tag I am displaying the actual operand, first operand, then I am concatenating the second, that is operator, then I am concatenating value of second operand. So if I entered 15 plus 35, then it will be here like the operand 1 will be 15, operator is plus and operand 2 is 35. Then I am concatenating the actual result I have obtained. So this whole statement will display the arithmetic equation based on the user input and its value, final result. So let us see the output of this statement. Yeah. So I will enter 15, I will add and 35, submit. So you can see here the simple calculator first echo statement, and second echo statement I am displaying the operand 1 15, operator plus as well as operand 2 35 equal to result. I am also displaying the result 50. So this is the program. Thank you.